So maybe I'll just introduce, if that's okay, Ms. Butler. I'd just like to welcome Ms. Charlotte Henson Butler from the CUNY Welcome Center. She's for us before, and she has been incredibly generous in sharing her experience and information about applying to CUNY. She's especially interested in helping students who are older, who are adults, who are coming back to school as adults. And I think you'll find her extremely generous and very knowledgeable. And I just want to thank her for her time and welcome her.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year. So I'd like to just start off by saying thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you today about the City University of New York. And I will, in fact, answer some of the questions that were presented earlier, as well as the questions that will be posed, during the presentation. But I'm hoping that I can answer them during the presentation. So one of the first questions that was asked was, how do I know I'm ready, I'm college ready? And another question that was posed was, let me see, where is it now? Oh, is there an age limit? And if I'm more than 35 years of age, can I in fact participate? So I want to answer those two questions first. So as far as, am I ready? How do I know if I'm ready? The fact that you have a high school diploma from your country or either a high school equivalency says that, yes, you are ready to apply and enter the university. And with the high school diploma, you're basically guaranteed a seat in one of the two-year colleges. The other thing is that some of our four-year colleges will require a little bit more. But some of you may, in fact, have a burning desire to go to college, but you might have put it on the back burner for quite some time, raising a family and so forth. Some of you, your job is, in fact, asking you to get additional education so that you can get a promotion, or either maybe the job that you're in right now, you want to change and do something totally different. So you may want, and sometimes, individuals say, well, if I do it, then maybe my children will do it. So you want to pretty much set an example for the generation that's coming behind you. Now, as far as the age limit, there is no age limit to start or either to finish college. I just want you to know that I once helped an 86-year-old woman enroll in college after she had just completed her high school equivalency. This was something that she wanted to do for years, and she just kept putting it off, but she finally did it. I lost track of her, but I would recommend that if this is something that you would like to do, by all means, now is the time to do it. This is 2022, a new year, a new beginning. So let's get started. So welcome to the City University of New York. Okay. So here we are. So CUNY, City University of New York, we have 25 colleges. These 25 colleges are located throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City. We have 2-year colleges, we have 4-year colleges, we have graduate schools, and we have some professional schools. So we're hoping that we have something for each of you. So these are our 2-year colleges. These 2-year schools, again, are located throughout the 5 boroughs, and there's a college that is in close proximity to you or either easily accessible by mass transportation. So we have Borough of Manhattan Community College in Lower Manhattan. We have Bronx on 181st and University Avenue, Gutman, which is on 40th between 5th and 6th Avenue. We have Ostos, which is in the Grand Concourse at 149th, Kingsborough, which is in Manhattan Beach. We have LaGuardia, which is in Long Island City, Queens. And we have Queensborough, which is in Bayside, Queens. So these are our 2-year colleges. Our 4-year colleges, again, located throughout the 5 boroughs, we have Baruch, we have Brooklyn, we have City College, we have the College of Staten Island, We have Hunter College. We have John Jay College of Criminal Justice. We have Lehman. We have Medgar Evers College. We have New York City College of Technology. We have Queens College, and we also have York. So these are our four-year colleges. But taking a look at the screen, you'll notice that the College of Staten Island, Medgar Evers, and also New York City College of Technology have a little star next to it. This is because these are four-year colleges, but they also offer two-year college programs. So a student can get a two-year degree or either a four-year degree or both at that college. So the university does have some unique four-year college programs that are separate from the on-campus. So they are off-site. So we have the School of Professional Studies. We have the CUNY Baccalaureate program, where you may in fact have a lot of different ideas and you want to merge all of those ideas into a degree. You will basically be designing your own degree. We have also the School of Labor and Urban Studies. We also have the Center for Worker Education, what we call our City College downtown location. So the main campus at City College is located in Harlem on 145th Street. But here, students can in fact go downtown at 25 Broadway and receive their degree as well. Adult degree programs is specifically designed for individuals who are 25 years of age or older. The ACE program at Queens College, the adult degree program at Lehman, and also we have the BC Bound program at Brooklyn College. So these are unique programs which will in fact provide students with an education, okay, and the degree that they are in fact applying to. So some college musts. I think it's important, you know, as we are in fact coming out of COVID, the university is in fact allowing students to come back who are in fact vaccinated to come and participate in classes on site. But what you can in fact do, if you're still a little nervous or apprehensive about it, you can visit the college's website so that you could participate in a virtual tour or an online information session. But you want to make sure that the college does in fact offer what you're interested in. And also, if you have multiple ideas, perhaps you want to check and make sure that the college offers maybe 2 or 3 of your possible options. And then what I'd like you to do is to go to the website and print it out. Print out that outline so at least you know exactly what you're getting into, what will in fact be expected of you. And for those of us who are in fact working, you know, in an area that we would like to get our degree in, by all means, inquire about life experience credit. So the work that you have in fact done could translate into college credit. The colleges will in fact let you know exactly what they want you to present to them in order to determine if they'll give you college credit rather than sitting in the class for a semester. So we have these 25 institutions, we have well over 1,750 degree bearing programs that are offered on a 2-year and also a 4-year level. So these are the very, very broad areas that we offer degrees in. We have students who are going into the arts. We have students who are going into business, students who are going into career-related programs, technology, the health professions, liberal arts, which all students will begin with. Once I start college, I don't jump right into my major. I will in fact be required to take English, mathematics. I'll be required to take a psychology course or a sociology course. So these liberal arts and science courses are going to be pretty much our foundation courses. And then we can turn around and build, okay, on the business, the technology, the health profession, or even the public service, or either the natural sciences. So here, just to give you an idea of what is covered under those areas, I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds so you could take a look. Okay. Now, majors, okay, You may in fact be wondering, well, how can I find out about what's offered where, and is it a 2-year or a 4-year level? I'd like you to turn around and go to our CUNY website, cuny.edu, and you could go to academics, or either you could go directly to the college. So here, going to cuny.edu, you can see a list of all of the programs that are offered at all of our colleges. It will not only tell you the degree that's going to be offered, but it also lets you know exactly, the program. And in most cases, you'll find that the same program may in fact be offered at several of the colleges, but you may want to turn around and take a look at location, what type of degree you want to get, and also, if there's life experience, what the availability is of the colleges. Do they offer it in the day, in the evening, on the weekends? So you have to do a little bit of research, just to make sure that it's the right fit for you. Students do not have to declare a major immediately. Remember, I said we have to do those liberal arts and science courses. So the colleges will in fact require that there be a 30 credit, 10 classes worth 3 credits each, a 30 credit residency where you're taking that English, that math, that psychology, sociology, and those basic core courses that you're taking will in fact be transferred to any college that you decide to transfer to, or you may just want to remain at that school until you get your degree. So another question that was posed was, how do I gain college credit? So each course that you take and complete has a credit value, and that value can be 2 credits all the way up to maybe 8 credits. So once you are in fact accumulating these credits, and it gives a grand total of the credits that are required for a 2-year degree, then the degree is awarded to you. Or either if you're working towards that 4-year degree, that degree will be awarded upon completion of those courses successfully completed. Oftentimes, students in their 3rd year of college, they will in fact be declaring their major. And students who are attending, let's say, a 2-year college, a community college, who are going into, let's say, a career track, these students will be taking their basic liberal arts and science courses plus their career-related courses. And some examples may in fact be students who are going into, let's say, surgical technology, or either nursing, or either web design. I'm taking those basic liberal arts plus that career so that once I graduate, I can in fact find employment, I can obtain certification, or either licensing. So these are the degrees that are received at our 2-year colleges. We have the associate degree in art, and we have the associate degree in science, and we also have the associate degree in applied science. Now, the associate in art and science, pretty much students continue onto the 4-year college. For example, if a student wanted to be a social worker, they couldn't do that right after 2 years. They would have to go on for 2 additional years to receive their degree. So the courses that you're taking at the 2-year college, they transfer into the 4-year. You're not starting all over again, you're continuing your degree. Those students who are applying for the associate degree in applied science, again, they are obtaining that basic liberal arts as well as their skilled technical courses, and they are going to be receiving that degree that can allow them licensing, certification, and also employment. A 4-year colleges, will in fact offer a Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, which are the basic bachelor degree programs. But we do in fact realize that there are some students that want something a little more specialized. So we have students who are getting their bachelor's degree in architecture, or either their bachelor's degree in business administration. But with that degree in business administration, they may be getting it in accounting. They may be getting it in marketing or finance, or either in economics. We have students who are getting a bachelor's degree in fine arts. That could be in theater or dance, or music. a bachelor's in music. They may be getting a bachelor's degree in education, be it elementary or secondary, or a bachelor's degree in technology, or either that in nursing. All right. So here, depending on what you are interested in, the university will in fact be able to accommodate you with that degree. So here, giving you an idea of the number of credits that are required, for the colleges. If I'm attending a 2-year school, the community colleges, or the 2-year, or sometimes they call it a junior college, they're going to require that we complete a minimum of 60 college credits. But it could be as high as 74, depending on the major. So to break that down a little bit so that you can understand it more thoroughly, that would be about 20 classes. 20 classes, and we're hoping that each of those classes are 3 credits. But there could be some courses that are going to be worth more than 2. Remember, I was saying it could range from 2 to 8 credits. But upon completion of those credits, you would then be awarded the associate degree, stating that you have completed all of the courses that were required for the degree that you were going for. And the colleges that will offer that associate: Queensborough, Borough Manhattan, LaGuardia, and the others that I had talked about a little earlier. At the 4-year level, or either at the senior college level, they're going to ask you to complete twice the amount, 120, but it could be as high as 150 college credits. To break that down, it would be about 40 classes, let's say 3 credits each, grand total of 120, and then they would award you a bachelor's degree. So for the majors that you're thinking about going to, or the area that you're interested in studying, we will in fact have an outline for you to follow. The colleges on the 2-year or the 4-year level, depending on what you're going for, they will let you know exactly and precisely what courses are required for you to take in order to receive that degree. And so here you want to make sure that you do a little bit of research just to make sure that this is what I would like to study, and this is the college that I would like to study in, and this is the outline that I have to follow. And doing so, you are making sure that you are following the outline and you are taking every single course that's required, so that at the time that you are in your very last semester of college, you know that you've taken every single thing that they ask you to take, and there will be no hesitation with them giving you your degree. So I'd like to pretty much give you sort of like a definition of how the university will accept students. So basically, a student is a freshman if they have only completed high school and nothing more. So you either have a high school transcript or the high school equivalency, or you have actually completed high school in your country. And you can show us all of the years and also the diploma. If I have done something beyond that, beyond high school, I'm going to be considered a transfer student. And with that being said, I will have to submit both my high school and my university work, okay, whether it was here in the United States or either outside of the United States. But the high school documents can be submitted to us by you, but anything beyond, okay, high school has to come directly from that institution, directly to CUNY, all right? I know that some of you may in fact have your originals, but we do not process with the originals. We need to have those documents, okay, from your country, verified, okay, by your university. They have to send it to us stating that, yes, this is what the student has in fact done, and this is what we gave the student upon completion. So I want to just stop here for a minute to see if there are any questions before I continue, if you have questions based on what I've already talked about. If not, then I'll continue on, all right? So was it very clear about what I had mentioned already?
I'm gonna let people unmute if they want to for a moment. So one moment here. Let me see if that.
Okay, all right.
Unmute. Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I was clear with what I've talked about, so far. If it was clear, then I'm going to move on and continue on. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
How long does CUNY basically covers our education in college?
When you're saying CUNY?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. We have some students that go full-time and they get out in a timely fashion in 4 years. And we have some students who are going part-time because they have other obligations. So basically what will happen is that you are not in a rush with anybody other than yourself.
Right.
You will take the courses, and upon completion, you will then get your degree. So we have
it depends. I'm sorry. It depends on my major. If it's like more than 4 years, but they still provide everything.
Now, when you say provide everything, be very specific about what you mean.
I mean, like not everything. Like they cover my financial aid and everything for college. Like
So
the payment.
so financial aid is another animal altogether, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes, because financial aid has its own requirements. Like they will provide you with financial assistance, within a certain amount of time. So here, if you want to make sure that financial aid is covering the cost for you to receive your degree, you would have to do it within that time frame that financial aid is giving you the money. All right. The university will allow a student, and we have had situations where we've had adult students who have other obligations, at a 2-year college, but it has taken them 6 years because they're taking courses on a part-time basis. And the university will not hinder a student from continuing on. But financial aid may say, you have exceeded the limit. And so with that being said, you would have to probably pay out of pocket, to finish up. Okay. But the university will not have a problem with you taking your time, okay, to complete your coursework.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, no problem at all. But we'll talk about financial aid in a little bit, okay?
Okay.
All righty. Okay, so I'm going to move forward. So if a student has in fact completed their secondary school work in their country, and they do in fact have all of the years and also the diploma in the original language and also an English translation, they don't need to take the task, the high school equivalency. You don't need to have 2 high school diplomas. And so what we would do is ask you to submit what you have, and based on that, we will determine your eligibility into one of the CUNY schools. If a student, however, has something beyond, okay, the high school in their country, they are going to be required, okay, to obtain those documents from their country and have them sent directly to CUNY. You will not be considered a freshman. You're considered a transfer student because you have done some college work. And the university deems a transfer student as one who has done college work either in or outside of the United States. All right. With that, those documents would have to come directly from the institution. And if you do not have copies of those, we will send you a copy and have it translated into English, and then you would send the copy to us. But those documents must come directly from the institution. Okay. So we do realize that there are some students who have not completed high school in their country. And if that is in fact the case, the state education department will ask students to take the task, and there are 5 exams. But there are, because of COVID, and also new guidelines and regulations on how students can in fact complete their high school equivalency diplomas. There are in fact some additional options where students can get their high school equivalency. But for here, students who are actually sitting for the exam, they would have to score at least a 500 or better on each of the exams with a total of 2,500 in order to receive the high school equivalency. Now, again, there are some exceptions where students can in fact acquire the high school equivalency because of attendance and because of their knowledge of the coursework and having passed a couple of the exams. But this these options that I am briefly discussing, you may want to inquire, okay, with the adult literacy advisors at your college, at the school that you are in fact attending, okay, to determine if you would be one of those individuals who would be eligible for the additional options aside from actually sitting for the exam. Okay, but you know, again, high school diploma, high school equivalency, or high school completion outside the United States is required in order to gain access into the City University of New York. You must show at least proof of high school graduation. So the university does in fact have some support service programs. You know, the student who was asking, how do I know if I'm ready and all? I mean, you can apply. And if the university deems that you need additional support service before taking a college level course, they will provide that to you as an adult student. We have some programs that will require students to go full-time, you know, in some cases going during the day. If this does not work for you, there are still support services on the campus in the evening for you to receive, you know, the support that you need. Some programs, such as the SEEK program, it's offered at all of our four-year colleges. College Discovery is offered at our two-year. There are income guidelines for the SEEK and College Discovery program. Again, if you are interested in these programs and you are able to go during the course of the day to get the support service and tutoring, counseling, academic support, by all means, go to our CUNY website and it will give you a larger and more detailed explanation of the program. The ASAP program, the Accelerated Study and Associate Degree, is pretty much designed to help a student get his or her associate degree within a 3-year time frame. It's offered at most of our two-year colleges with the exception of Gutman, but it's also offered at the College of Staten Island, Medgar Evers, and also New York City College of Technology, because they also offer 2-year programs. So sometimes students are in the ASAP program and upon graduation, they then transfer to four-year colleges. And the four-year colleges, John Jay, College of Staten Island, and also Lehman will in fact extend that support service for the students. So they supply the students with a tuition. If they have if they owe a little bit of money, they will cover that. Also, they help students with their textbooks, Metro card. So here, there are a lot of support service programs to ensure that a student does in fact graduate from the college with the degree that they want, and also, you know, graduate successfully because their support services built in to ensure that they do in fact graduate. These programs, once again, may require full-time status. So that would be 12 credits. Now, what that means, breaking it down, it would be about 4 classes worth 3 credits each, 12 credits. Students who may in fact be receiving public assistance, at each of our colleges, we have a program called CUNY Edge. And also we have a program that's not mentioned here, but the Black Male Initiative, which embraces all students and provides them with support to ensure that they are successful in completing their degree. Also, if English is not the first language, the colleges, after accepting you, will in fact review okay, your proficiency in English. And if it is in fact required, they will place you in the program called CLIP, the CUNY Language Immersion Program, where you will be taking intensive courses exclusively in English until your skills are perfected in order for you to take an English composition college level course. All of these programs in greater detail are available to read up on at our CUNY on our CUNY website, cuny.edu. So these are a couple of little helpful hints that I thought might be useful for students to take a look at. The first one being cuny.edu, which is the basic CUNY website, where you could take a look at the programs that are available. You could take a look at the colleges and their websites. You could take a look at some of the initiative programs that CUNY is issuing out, partnerships with some agencies that will allow students employment upon graduation. Also, it gives you an update of what's happening right now with COVID. It lets you know exactly as a student what the requirements will be if you are thinking about entering the university for the fall term or either for the spring of the following year. The other thing is that we have a YouTube channel where it gives you a line-by-line tutorial on how to fill out the application, how to apply to the university. We have information about the ASAP program. If students, after being accepted, we find that they need a little more support with their reading, their writing, and their mathematics, we would allow students to enroll in the CUNY START program or the Math START program, or either the CLIP. Now, let me just state one thing. If a student is in fact placed in CUNY START or Math START or the CLIP program, these programs will require you to pay out of pocket. So there will be no financial assistance with this because these are pre-college courses that you would in fact be taking. I've also included some programs, some websites that can pretty much give you an idea of, what your next move would be, some career videos, or job postings, because I think it's really important for individuals to know not only is a job asking for a degree, but are they asking also for job experience? And if it's possible, if your schedule does in fact allow you to do classwork as well as internships, this you can generate and place on your resume so that at least this way the prospective employee knows that it's just not the book knowledge that you have, but also the work experience as well. And also the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it gives you sort of like an outlook as to what the job market will be in the future. So these are websites that I think you should take a look at. And if you'd like, I'll give you a couple of minutes so that you can take a snapshot of it. All right. And at your leisure, you could take a look. Now, someone was asking also, does CUNY offer medical assistant and also administrative assistant? Yes, we do. But I'd like you to, again, go to the CUNY website, cuny.edu. And it'll give you a list of all of the programs that are offered and where they're offered and the type of degree that you will in fact be receiving upon completion. Okay. There was another question about a student asking the grade point average of the colleges, and I think that's coming up in a few minutes. And so I want to address that, as well as someone asking if I'm undocumented, is it possible for me to apply? And so what I want to do is address the grade point averages. So our two-year colleges will in fact guarantee you admission if you have a high school diploma, hands down. Our four-year colleges, however, will in fact be requiring a little bit more because it's a higher degree that you're going to be getting at the four-year college, and it's a little more demanding. So here pretty much is the freshman profile. And the freshman profile is viewed by taking a look at the high school average that a student does in fact have. Now, for those students who have been educated outside the United States, we would take a look at the grading system in your country and convert it to the grading system here in the United States. And that's how we come up with a grade point average to determine your eligibility. If I am taking the high school equivalency, our operations committee will in fact determine based on your grades and what the college wants you to have as far as their admission. They will determine if you could be placed at their college or either if you will be placed, you know, at one of your alternative choices. So the grade point average varies drastically from college to college on a first-time college level as well as on a transfer college level. So grade point average, if I have some college credit, our four-year colleges, the grade point average can range from a 2.7 GPA to as high as a 3.4. And so this would be like a better than a C plus average to maybe a little high or slightly lower than, let's say, a B plus. All right. But you want to turn around and try to do the best that you can so that you can get into the college of your choice. Our two-year colleges, it can range from a C average to as high as a C plus average to be admitted into the college. But again, you know, it varies. To take a look at the transfer profile, you could take a look at the CUNY website where it will give you a list of all of the colleges and exactly and precisely which what each of them are in fact asking for. So it does in fact vary. But even if students don't have the grade point average that the school is looking for, I would still say put it on your application. First-time college students have many choices, as do transfer students, and that will be shown in a few minutes or so. So here, if I'm applying as a first-time college student, I can choose up to 6 colleges, okay, that are offering what I'm interested in. If I'm a transfer student, I can select up to 4 colleges that offer what I want. Both freshmen and transfer students will be filling out a CUNY online application. You could go to cuny.edu/apply, and it will show you the application where you will in fact be registering and making up a username and a password, and you will be applying appropriately. If I've only attended high school, I'm going to be a freshman. If I've done some college work, I'm going to be considered a transfer student. Our deadline date, okay, just rolling back up, for the fall term is February 1st. And classes will begin the last week of August, and they will go until the end of December. That's our fall semester. We would ask that students who are in fact ready to start college, try to apply as early as possible so that we can in fact process your application and get you accepted into, you know, the college or colleges of your choice so that you can in fact determine which one you want to go to. The spring semester was September 15th, and classes will begin the end of this month, January, and will go until the spring term, May. All right. So here, because classes will be starting in about 2 to 2.5 weeks, I am recommending that students wait until the fall term, okay, to give you enough time to apply appropriately. The spring term may be a little tricky. There may in fact be some colleges that are still accepting, but you want to be able to apply, get accepted, do your financial aid if you're eligible for it. You don't want to be racing against time. So I would recommend, if you have not, okay, perhaps it's better for you to wait for the fall term. And this way you can apply, in a timely fashion and submit all of the documents that are in fact required. So what are the documents that we're looking for? If I am applying as a high school graduate, we want copies of the high school records and also the diploma in the original language and English translation if you were educated outside the US. Please do not do not upload your original documents. You must hold on to your original documents because they are the originals. If you are preparing for the high school equivalency, we would ask that you make several copies of the original, frame the original, and then you can upload the scores and the diploma, okay, to us. And if you can, we would like to see copies of your high school transcript. And this would be for those students who were educated here in the United States and did not complete high school and are now applying for, and now are taking and passing the high school equivalency. What we are basically going to be doing is accepting you on the basis of your high school equivalency diploma. But we're taking a look at your high school transcript. If you can present that to us, we're taking a look at those academic courses that you have in fact passed to determine your readiness to take a college level course in English and also in mathematics. Now, on the transfer level, we're basically asking you to do the same thing as the freshman, but we're going one step further and asking you to contact your college, be it outside the United States or either inside the United States, and have those transcripts sent directly to us, okay? Now, documents that are coming outside the country in a language other than English, we will accept those documents in that language. We will make copies and send you a copy to your email that you provide on your application and ask you to have it translated into English. Do not, once again, don't send us the original English translation, send us a copy, all right? Again, hold on to your original. So this is where you can, in fact, forward your documents. We find that, during the pandemic, high schools inside and outside of New York and also abroad were quite obliging to send us the transcripts electronically. And what we would like for students to do is to ask their institutions if they could possibly do that so that it could speed up the process of us receiving your documents. Okay, and those documents could be sent to either transcripts@cuny.edu or they could be sent to admissions@cuny.edu. Okay, but if a school is hard fast and they're saying, no, we want to send a hard copy, then these are also the addresses where they can send the documents. Okay, so if you'd like, you could take a snapshot, okay, of those addresses and also of the website so that the documents can in fact be forwarded to us. And I will hold off for a couple of minutes so that if you are taking a snapshot of it or if you're jotting down the information, I'll give you time to do so. Now, the question was raised, can I apply if I'm an undocumented student? Absolutely, yes. Okay, the university accepts students on the basis of their credentials, not on their status in the United States. So if I'm undocumented, I can apply to the university as either a freshman or either a transfer student, and I will be required to submit my documents just like a student who is a US citizen or a permanent resident, or either a refugee granted or asylum granted applicant. Now, just to repeat, if you have your high school documents, you can submit those on your own. Okay, but not the original, copies of the originals. But if you have attended a college, university, okay, in or outside the United States, those documents must come directly from that institution, directly to CUNY. Now, there was a young lady who had asked a question prior to us doing a presentation. She had indicated that a relative or a friend of hers had already completed her degree in her country. And she wanted to know if, in fact, the student could apply to CUNY. The answer is yes. But my question would be, does the student who has the degree want to continue her degree in that area that she received her bachelor's, or does she want to go into something totally different? So here, if the student wants to continue the degree, they can in fact be applying to graduate school or getting their master's degree. But if the student wants to go into something totally different, they can in fact obtain a second bachelor's degree. They would be considered a transfer student, okay? Right? But for the master's degree, going to the CUNY website, cuny.edu, you can click on graduate studies and they will let you know exactly what the requirements will in fact be in order to be admitted. You are basically applying only to one school if you are applying for your master's, okay? And their criteria is slightly different from the undergraduate. Okay, so those who are thinking about getting a master's, going to graduate school, you could take a snapshot of this. It's just sort of like an overview, but again, visit the college's website so that they can tell you step by step exactly what they want you to submit, how they want you to submit it in order to be admitted into the college. Okay, these are the undergraduate rates. So if I'm applying at a 2-year college, if I'm applying at a 4-year college, this is going to be the tuition. If I am a New York State resident, okay, I have lived here, you know, for years and so forth, and I'm going to a 4-year college and I'm going full time, the tuition will be $6,930 for the year. This is just for the tuition, just for the classes. If I'm going on a part-time basis, I'm going to be paying per credit. So it'll be $305 per credit. So if I'm taking 2 classes, 3 credits each, that would be 305 times 6. All righty. If I'm going to a 2-year college, the tuition is going to be $4,800 for the year. If I'm going on a part-time basis, it's going to be $210 per credit. Okay. All right. So I'm hoping that all students are going to be considered New York State residents. If not, then students will be paying a higher tuition rate. Okay, as indicated on the right-hand side. The tuition for out-of-state resident will be almost 3 times as much. Okay, and twice as much on a part-time basis. Twice as much at the 2-year. And also $100 and some odd dollars, you know, for the 2-year going part-time. So again, full-time, 12 credits or more. 12 credits means 4 classes. 1 class may in fact be 3 credits. But again, and that's how most college credits are, 3 credits. But there may in fact be some that are 2, as high as 8 credits. All right. If I'm going on a part-time basis, that means that I'm taking less than 4 classes or less than 12 credits. So there were questions about financial aid. How do I pay for college? Is there a possibility for scholarships? How can I pay if I don't qualify for financial aid? So let me just talk about the types of financial aid that we have available first, and then we'll move forward to try to answer those questions. So there are 4 types of financial aid. There are grants, work study, scholarships, and also loans. The grants are free money. Grants can come from the federal government, the largest being the Pell Grant. and also the Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant from the federal government. And then the state can provide a student with a grant called TAP, Tuition Assistance Program, if they're going full-time, or either aid to part-time study if they're going on a part-time basis. So grants are free money. Grants are need-based. It's going to be based on your income from 2 years ago. Work study. I tell adult students, if you are working, do not leave your job for work study. Work study may be $1,500 for the year. After you have worked the $1,500, there is no more money until possibly the next year. All right. Scholarships, yes, there are scholarships. There will be an updated scholarship listing that I will send to both Mr. Appleton and also Ms. Brandt, and that can be dispersed to all students. And the last being loans. Loans are monies that the federal government will lend you, but they want you to pay it back with interest. Okay, usually 6 months after you leave the school. Now, this could be with your degree or without your degree. They will start asking you to start repaying. Okay, so those are the 4 types: grants, work study, scholarships, and loans. So if you will, please take a snapshot of this, because financial aid, I'm giving you the websites that you can go to if you're eligible, and I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But financial aid is money that can be received from the federal government, the state, from the college, or either organizations to help you with your college expenses. If you are applying for the federal aid and state aid, you could begin to fill out your applications as early as October 1 of every single year. If you are applying, let's say for the fall of 2022, going into spring of 2023, you're going to be using 2020's income. So it's always 2 years ago's income that the federal government and the state will be looking at to determine your eligibility. The websites that you will be filling out your financial aid forms are as follows. So all students who are residents, who are, let me just step back, who are US citizens, who are permanent residents, who are individuals who have received refugee status and it has been granted, or asylum status that has been granted, or who may in fact be in protective status. These students may in fact apply and receive a federal student aid ID, okay? Again, let me just step back, because students have to have a valid Social Security number, okay? So here you'd be filling out your federal student aid ID. You're going to generate a username and a password, and this is going to be your electronic signature, your access to fill out the free application for federal student aid with the federal government. And after filling out that application, there's a link where you can fill out the state application as well. Now, the website fastweb.com, that's a large search engine for scholarships. But again, I will in fact provide Mr. Appleton and Ms. Grant with a list of scholarships that I in fact have once I get the updated version of it. Students who already have a bachelor's degree, whether it's inside the United States or outside, unfortunately will not be eligible for the federal grant, Pell. And students who are applying for graduate school are not going to be eligible for Pell and are not going to be eligible for TAP. Students who are undocumented, you may in fact check to see if you're going to be eligible for the TAP grant, and also perhaps for the Excelsior scholarship by going to this website, Higher Education Services Corp.ny.gov. You will unfortunately not be eligible for federal grants. Okay, so the federal government will not be issuing students who are undocumented any federal aid, but New York State, if you're eligible, may in fact, you may in fact qualify. Now, for students who are not eligible for any type of grant, scholarship and so forth, I would say pay as you go. You know, it may take you a little longer because you're taking less credits, but you have already paid for those courses and you can move forward, you know, after you gather a little more money, okay, to pay for the next set of courses that you're going to be taking. So I don't want you to think that because I can't get any aid or anything that I can't pay. We have other extremes where we have parents who are making a lot of money and they're not eligible for the federal grant or either the Pell. And with that being said, they have to pay out of pocket or either they would have to take out a loan. And I know that sometimes people frown on loans, but understand that a loan is pretty much an investment in yourself. And yes, it will in fact that you will in fact require that you pay, you know, afterwards, but I would still recommend, you know, moving forward with your education. You pay as you go, pay for only what you can afford. This way you don't have any debt behind you, and then, you know, move forward to apply, you know, for the next set of courses to get your degree. Okay, so that pretty much concludes my presentation, but I just wanted to end with the last question that a person had asked, and that question was, what can I do to see my dream come true? And my response to that is just start. Get started. You know, if you have your high school diploma, just get started. Jump right into it. Take your time quickly, okay, about it. But, you know, get started as opposed to saying years later, oh, I should have done it. I could have done it. I would have done it. You want to turn around and just make sure that you do it. And this way, you know, it'll be satisfaction to you. All right. So I am going to answer any questions that you may in fact have. And okay, all righty. So I'm taking a look also at the chat. Let's see what's up in a few minutes. Question you have about college. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look and see if, okay, all right. Okay, give me 1 second. I just jumped out of chat again. All right. So here, let me just take a look at all of the questions that were posed. I'm going all the way up to the top and then bring it down so that this way I'm not missing anybody. Okay. Okay, let me see.
Ms. Butler, I've kept an eye on some of the questions. I could ask one that I see that I think you may have addressed, but I'm not sure. Is that okay?
Okay. Okay, no problem. So, okay, wait a minute. I was trying to go down to the, oh, I see it. Open it up a little better. I can see it a little better. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, one question I have about, okay. So, so there was one question that they have about the entrance exam. So the university is not administering exams unless, of course, the student's first language is not English. They're going to actually be taking a look at the student's academic work to determine their eligibility to take college level courses, or either if they're going to place the student in CUNY START or either Mass START. So there's no more entrance exam other than the the English exam for students whose first language is not English. We just want to make sure that the student is not in a class where they don't understand exactly what the professor is asking of them. The question was, if a student has a bachelor's degree from another country, can she apply to CUNY? Yes. So I think I did in fact answer that question a few minutes ago, but the question would be, does the student want to get a second bachelor's degree, or do they want to get a master's degree? That would be the question. But yes, they can in fact apply. Another question, what are the requirements to apply? Again, you know, I may wind up answering the questions over again, but I kind of think that maybe Mr. Appleton, just students hearing it again, it'll be okay. Would that be all right?
Absolutely, I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Okay, okay, no problem. All right. So what are the requirements to apply? If a student has a high school diploma, they can apply. If a student has beyond a high school diploma, they can apply as well. So basically, we are going to be accepting a student on the basis of their academic work that they've already completed, be it high school from outside the country, or either the high school equivalency, and also if they have in fact attended a college or a university in their country, or either here in the United States. Though that's what we're going to be accepting a student on. And the criteria will in fact vary depending on the college that you're applying to, and also the major that you would like to apply to in order to receive your degree. Going to the CUNY website, cuny.edu, you can take a look at the academic profile of each of the colleges. But as a freshman, select 6 colleges that will offer what you're interested in. But what I would recommend is have a combination of 2-year and 4-year colleges. For the transfer student, if you have done a substantial amount of college credits, let's say if you've done, let's say, 30 or more, I would be applying, you would be applying as a transfer student. And what you may want to do is apply to 4 colleges on a 4-year level that would in fact be offering what you're interested in. If your grades are not very good, and this is what I'm talking about as far as grades. A grades are the best. B grades are the next. C grades, they're okay. But if you've done poorly, like maybe D's or either F's, those courses are going to be taken into consideration to determine your eligibility. So if that's the case, you may want to also select maybe one or two community colleges as well as a 4-year college, you know, and the colleges will in fact review to determine your eligibility. So there's a student that says, I'm interested in signing up for the spring term. I have only my high school equivalency certificate, and I want to do my nursing program there. So here we have a number of colleges that do offer nursing. The spring term starts in about 2 weeks. If you would like to be a daredevil, okay. I would say apply as early as possible, as well as apply, pay your application fee, upload your high school equivalency scores, and select the colleges that do in fact offer nursing. Now, the LPN program is in fact offered at several of our colleges. However, the college, when you are selecting the college, you would have to make sure that you are selecting a college that is offering the LPN program. The student also indicated that's Simone. Simone. So Simone, you indicate that I was told I need to do English and math for February to July, but when I did more research, it said I'm going to need biology and so. Okay, so here's the thing. Depending on the college that you decide to go to, that you would like to go to, I want you to go to the college's website, and I want you to take a look at the coursework that's required, okay, for the program. So here, the LPN program and also the nursing programs, there will be some prerequisites that you have to take. English will be one. Math for meds will be another. Also, you will in fact be required to take anatomy and physiology 1, and also, let's say, a psychology course. But these are courses that you need to take a look at on the website, so that you know exactly, my first semester, this is what they want me to take. My second semester, this is what they want me to take. And if you cannot find it on the website, then it's important for you to reach out to the college so that they can give you the information on what you need. But quite frankly, the 2-year colleges are excellent in providing an outline of the coursework that's required. You said, I don't have a GPA either, as I'm from a different country. So you say you have the high school equivalency, or do you also have education from outside the United States? So the question would be, what are you going to submit? Your high school equivalency, or are you going to submit your high school documents from outside the United States? So it really depends, because if you are submitting your high school documents from outside the US, we're going to convert the grading system from your country to the US grading system. And that's how we will generate a grade point average for you. Based on your GED certificate or your high school equivalency certificate, based on those grades that you receive from the task, we will be able to determine the grade point average for you. All right. Okay. So,
Ms. Butler, can I interrupt just for a moment? I'm sorry, but I just want to let people know that they can unmute if they need to clarify.
oh, yes, please. Yes,
that
absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to say something verbally, go ahead. If if you have a question, you want to clarify something, please do.
Okay. So, I mean, is Simone still there?
Yes, Miss Butler, I'm here.
Okay. So did you only do high school back home, or did you do university back home?
Well, when I did my high school back home, I did not get my certificate. So when I came here, I did my GED program.
Okay. All right.
However, I spoke with somebody from Hostos since week, and I told her I wanted to do a nursing program, which is the LPN, but she told me that starting February to July, then I'll need to do math and English. But when I did all these research, it's saying that I need not just the math and English, I need more subjects.
So wait a minute, let me ask you something. Were you accepted already into a college, or have you not applied as of yet?
No, I was actually doing my application. So I actually did an intake over the phone with her. But after the intake, I did some more research on the website myself about the schooling. And I said, I noticed that she did not mention the other subjects.
Yeah, that's why I say it's really, really important, Simone, and also for all students. Depending on what you want to go to school for, it's important that you go to the college's website under academics, and based on the program that you want to study, print it out, and it will give you a course by course breakdown of all of the things all of the classes that you have to take in order to receive that degree.
Okay.
What school are you thinking about going to?
Hostos.
At Ostos? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So here's the thing. Did everybody take down my my email?
Your email? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here's the thing for everybody. If you have a specific question or concern, email me and I'll be able to answer the questions for you. But also realize that your advisors, your case managers at the CUNY adult literacy programs, they are there to help you as well. But if you want, you can ask me any questions and I'll answer them for you. So the thing about it is that the high school equivalency will be basically what you're going to submit, to determine your eligibility. But what if you have not gone to OSTOS's website to see a listing of all of the courses that are required for the LPN, that's going to be your homework from me to you. All right.
Okay.
And if you still have questions, then you can just email me. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate that, Ms. Butler. Thank you so much.
Not a problem at all. All right, I want to go down to the next question because I want to make sure I get it to everybody. If you have questions, okay, please. Okay, hello. I am asking on behalf of relatives. I have a high school diploma. Okay, and I studied nursing in DR. Do I have to translate my documents before applying? Yes, ma'am. So you have your high school, and this is Pasquale Luis. Okay, so here, if you have your high school diploma, we need all of the years, okay, and also the diploma, okay, in the original language and an English translation. We don't recommend any place where you can go and get the documents translated, but we do stress this, that whoever's doing the translation, they have to do it word for word. They cannot do any interpretations. Exactly how it reads in the original language is exactly how it has to read, and the format has to be the same in English, okay? So here you can Google and find translation agencies that can translate your documents. Now, you said also that you studied nursing. Now, was nursing in the secondary level or was it in the post-secondary level? Because if it was in the post-secondary level, we need those documents to come directly from the institution, okay? In order for us to process the application. We can only take copies of the high school in the original language and English translation, all right? If you did anything beyond that, it has to come directly from the institution. A student is asking, if I have a degree and diploma of economics from Russia, can I apply it to CUNY and get a degree in psychology? So yes, you would. Now, here's my question. And this is for Lozovaya. I'm hoping that I'm not damaging the name. I do apologize if I have. But my question to you is, do you want to get a degree in psychology on the master's level, or do you want to get a second undergraduate degree, okay, from CUNY? So, it depends. If I want to get a second undergraduate degree, then you would be applying as a CUNY transfer student. If you want to get your master's degree, okay, then you would be applying directly to one of the colleges that will offer the master's. Now you're saying, which exams do I have to pass? So our colleges on the master's degree level will in fact require, because English is not the first language in your country, they will in fact require TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language. And depending on the degree and the college, now that we're still in COVID, some of our graduate programs have in fact exempt students from taking the GMAT, the Graduate Management Admissions Test, and also the GRE. So you may want to ask, if you're doing the master's level, you may want to ask, is TOEFL the only exam that I will have to take? And what is the score that will be required if I'm getting my master's? On the undergraduate level, if you are a permanent resident, then and you have your degree from Russia in economics, and you want to get a second bachelor's degree in psychology, we would not require the TOEFL from you because you're a permanent resident. It's only on the graduate level that they would be asking. And outside of that, we would be taking a look at the courses that you've done on the economics level to determine how many of those can be applied to your new degree, psychology. Okay, so that will be done after you have in fact been processed with the operations division. So we're asking you to submit both your high school and also your university documents to determine eligibility. Okay. All right. So let me just see what the next question was. Oh, somebody's call was broken. They couldn't hear anything. Okay, how can I get the tuition discount for New York residents? And this is Ms. Rodriguez. So if you are a New York State resident, you've lived here for a year or more, you're a U.S. citizen, you're a permanent resident, refugee granted, asylum granted, or undocumented and been here for years, you may in fact be able to pay the in-state tuition. But I need a little more information from you to determine, okay, if you can in fact pay the New York residents. Question would be, do you have high school outside of the country? Do you have university outside of the country? All right, so you may want to turn around and email me with additional information, please. All right. All right, so there was I'm scrolling down because some of the questions we did in fact answer. So there was a question about the requirements to apply for scholarships. So each scholarship will in fact ask for different criteria. You will not know exactly what the requirements are until you take a look at the scholarship and also the description and the requirements that they're asking for. All right, so that question cannot be answered until you take a look at the scholarship itself, where they will be very, very clear about exactly what it is that you need to do in order to qualify. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm just scrolling down a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so the next question from Ms. Cortez was, do you lose any credits from a 2-year and transfer into a senior college, or this depends on where you transfer and what credits that school will accept? Okay, so if I'm going from CUNY to CUNY, a student who is graduating from a CUNY 2-year college is guaranteed 60 credits when they transfer into the 4-year college at CUNY, which means that they should only have to do about 60 college credits more in order to get their bachelor's degree. Okay, now if I am going into, let's say, nursing, and I get my associate degree in nursing, okay, and get my license and so forth, and I decide that I don't want to do that, I want to go into engineering, a substantial amount of those nursing courses will not apply to engineering. I don't lose them because they are courses that were taken and passed successfully, but they just will not be applied to the new degree that I'm going for. And as a result, the new degree will in fact require additional credits, okay, for me to complete that degree, okay? Let's see. Okay, so
Ms. Butler, I'm sorry, can I just add a little bit to that, make sure if I understand this correctly?
Yes, please.
So it just means that if you're in a 2-year school, if you're in the junior college, community college, and you complete your 2 years, and you intend to go on to get a bachelor's in a 4-year school, you want to make sure that all the classes that you take in your junior college are part of the major that you want in your 4-year, in the senior, your bachelor's. Is that correct?
Yes, they have to be similar. The only way that so if I do 60 in psychology and the basic liberal arts, and then I get my associate and I transfer to the 4-year and I want to get my bachelor's degree in psychology, those credits are going to transfer without a problem. But if I go into, let's say, psychology and now I want to go into nursing, some of those courses can be applied. But a substantial amount of them may not, because they're not applicable, okay, to the new degree that I'm going for. So in that case, you're not losing any credits at all. They're just not going to be applied. They could be considered like elective credits, extra courses that you took. Okay, and now you've changed your mind. So now you're going to have to take additional courses to meet the requirements for that new degree. Does that make sense Does that make a little more sense?
I see Gina nodding, so.
It does make sense. It
Okay,
it can be a little bit confusing with all these different credits and things like that, but it does clarify a little bit better than what I was thinking. So
oh, okay, yeah, but because sometimes we have students who decide, okay, I want to do one thing, and then they change their mind, they want to do something else, and then they want to do something else. If you get too heavy into, let's say, a particular major, or that particular course, that course cannot be applied to this specific degree that you're going for, because you've changed your mind, again. So, and I kind of think that the only way I could clearly define it is that, let's say if I, let's say, those examples that I gave, if I want to go into psychology and I want to go into engineering, or either better yet, let's say if I wanted to go into, I went into nursing, and then I'm transferring to do like engineering. If I took those chemistry courses that were related to nursing, they may not be related to engineering. It may be a different course altogether in engineering. You follow what I'm saying? So for certain degrees, they will tell you exactly and precisely what you have to take. That's why it's so important to take a look at the outline of the coursework that's required. Another feature that the university will in fact provide to CUNY students, in CUNY First, once you are a student, you can go to your CUNY First account, and they have what's called Degree Works. You could list all of the courses that you have in fact taken, and you can see exactly how many of those credits will be transferred even before you transfer, depending on the college that you're thinking about going to and the major that you're thinking about going into. So here, it may give you sort of like a heads up as maybe I shouldn't change my major. Maybe I should stick with what I did, so that I am not taking additional classes when in fact I can get out a lot sooner. Okay, so some of the courses will be at a 2-year level, will be direct transfer. Let's say English composition. At the 2-year will meet the requirements for English composition at the 4-year. The math course that you took at the 2-year will meet the requirements for the 2-year degree, and it may also meet the requirements for the 4-year, but the 4-year degree may ask for an additional math course. So it's really, really important to get an outline of the coursework, so that you will know exactly, how many credits you have left to do upon transferring. But again, if I transfer, if I change my major, I am looking forward to doing a little more credits. Okay. So here, there's another question. Okay. If you have college credit from another country, the institution has to send document. Yes. Okay. All right. Mr. Appleton, you were answering that question for the student. So Ms. Cortez had another question, and can students go straight into a 4-year college after receiving the high school equivalency? Oftentimes the answer is no. There is one college that tells us that if you score a 270 or better on the high school equivalency, they will provide you with an opportunity to start at a 4-year school, and that would be Brooklyn College, which is in Brooklyn, in Flatbush Avenue. Yeah, it's the number 2 or the number 5 train to the last stop and all. The program is called BC Bound. So that would be pretty much like the only college that may in fact admit a student, but there will be some stipulation. They want to make sure that you have you've passed your English composition and a college level math course, so that you can continue on with your college work. But all other colleges, all other 4-year colleges they will say that having a high school equivalency and the score, you know, be it a 2,500 to a 4,000, they still feel that the student may in fact be deficient in some of the academic coursework. Because again, you have to realize that the high school equivalency is a compressed version of 4 full years of high school. And for the most part, you have not taken, let's say, that English for 4 years. You've taken it for a certain amount of time and taken an exam. And the 4-year colleges say we want you to have a stronger foundation in order to start. So that's why they say start at the 2-year, where you can in fact get the support service and then transfer into the 4-year. Now we have some students who graduate, who do not graduate from the 2-year college. I would prefer that a student graduates from a 2-year, because that at least you know that if you've completed 2 years, the next 2 years are going to be a piece of cake as well. But the thing about it is that some colleges will in fact accept students who have not completed their associate degree, but you would have to have at least 30 college credits or more, okay, in order to be considered. All right, and so those 30 core courses may in fact be the courses that we're going to be looking at to determine your eligibility. Okay, okay, so the next question would be, what scholarships are available for college for an adult with a high school equivalency? So you could go to fastweb.com. They don't care if you're an adult or either a youth, but there are some scholarships that are specifically geared to adults, specifically geared to individuals who are going to college for the first time, you know, being at a certain age, etc., and so forth. So what I will in fact do, I'll send the scholarship listing, but I want you to go to FastWeb as well, and also go on Google, because there are in fact scholarships that are available. But let me just caution every single person who is thinking about scholarships. If a scholarship is saying to pay, then log off of it immediately. You should not have to pay to determine if you qualify for a scholarship. Okay, so if they start asking for money and everything, just disconnect. Okay, from there. Scholarships should not be asking for money to determine your eligibility. So whether you're an adult or either a youth with a high school equivalency, there are scholarships out there. Okay, okay, scholarship. Okay. You may want to see what financial aid is available. Oh yes, and you know, and that Mr. Appleton, thank you so much. You know, for Miss Walker, for Wanda Walker. You know, it's important. Check with financial aid to find out what's available to you first. Okay, the federal grant, the Pell Grant. You can in fact qualify for these. But again, when you're looking at the Pell Grant, they will let you know exactly how many semesters you're eligible for if you're going full-time or either part-time, because you're using that money. And also you want to, it's always best to have free money, okay? And free money would be by way of the federal grant, Pell, the TAP grant, TAP, or either aid to part-time study, as well as scholarships. These monies you do not have to pay back at all. All right. Okay, let me just see if we have other questions. Okay. Okay, connection to scholarship. Okay, I think Ms. Walker was the last question that we had, Mr. Appleton. Does anyone else have other questions?
Hi, everyone. As you can see, Ms. Butler, it can be very helpful and incredibly knowledgeable. So if you are thinking about applying, or if you're in the process of applying, or if you've already applied, and I know she would love to hear from you, so she can help sort out some of these, you know, challenge. It's a challenging transition you're making from going from a high school equivalency or adult education into college. So you'll make use of the support that you have, right? Ms. Butler, thank you so much yet again. This is really, really very useful.
Yeah, Mr. Appleton, thank you very much for having me. You and Ms. Brandt, thank you once again. And you know, the students who do in fact email me, I'll just let you know exactly what the results are, okay?
Yeah, please make use of that email, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you all at our next workshop. Join our Google Classroom or email me individually if you have any questions, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all. We'll
Enjoy
post
the rest
recording
of your
next
day,
week.
everyone.
Okay, you
you
too.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, all
Thank
right.
you.